Do you think you're built different and can survive a great white shark attack? That's hilarious. Modern sharks kill 5 people yearly. Meanwhile, the Megalodon had 276 serrated teeth and a bite force that could crush submarines. And that's just one creature on our list today. So let's demolish all of your dreams of being built different and surviving an encounter with any of these oceanic prehistoric predators. If you really think you can survive, hit the like button and subscribe, because only those people are smart enough to have a chance of surviving today's creatures. Now, before you start thinking these can't all be that bad, let me introduce you to the least terrifying creature on our list, which is like saying it's the least deadly venomous snake, by the way. Meet OPHTHALMOSAURUS, the eye lizard. While a modern great white might spot you from 50 feet away, this prehistoric nightmare could literally see your fear in pitch black waters. This dinosaur lived during the middle to late Jurassic period. You know, roughly 165 to 100 million years ago, when your whatever grandparents were still tiny mammals hiding from everything. At around 4 meters long, about the size of a dolphin on steroids, this dinosaur wasn't the biggest predator in the prehistoric seas, but what it lacked in size, it made up for with the most ridiculous eyes in vertebrate history. We're talking eyes around 23 centimeters in diameter. That's like strapping dinner plates to your face, except these dinner plates could see through murky water and darkness with crystal clarity. But I'm a good swimmer, I hear you typing in the comment section. Sure you are, buddy. This streamlined hunter weighed about 940 kilograms. That's a literal ton of ancient reptile and was perfectly designed for rapid swimming. While you're doing your adorable little freestyle at 5 miles per hour tops, this creature is gliding effortlessly through the water at multiples of your speed. Let's paint the horror movie scenario, shall we? You're night swimming. Already a terrible idea, by the way, when suddenly everything goes quiet. You can't see more than a few feet in any direction, but something out there can see you perfectly. Its massive eyes are collecting every photon of available light, creating a clear image of your vulnerable human body flailing awkwardly in its habitat. Those numerous sharp teeth might not be the largest on our list, but they're perfectly designed for snatching slippery prey. That's you, by the way. One moment you're treading water, the next you're being punctured by dozens of razor-sharp teeth as this dinosaur clamps down on whatever body part it reached first. Your only hope? Maybe it's not that hungry, but considering these creatures actively hunted for a living and you're essentially a slow, squishy, unarmored snack with no underwater defenses, yeah, your survival chance is sitting at a solid 0. And here's the kicker. OPHTHALMOSAURUS fossils have been found all over the world. Europe, North America, South America, Russia, even Mexico. Basically, prehistoric oceans everywhere had these eagle-eyed predators patrolling their waters. But maybe you would think escaping to shore would save you from the OPHTHALMOSAURUS. Maybe, but that strategy won't work with our next nightmare-fueled dinosaur. NOTHOSAURUS didn't care whether you were in water or on land. It was happy to hunt you in both. You know that moment in horror movies when the victim thinks they're finally safe on the shore, only for the monster to crawl out of the water? Yeah, that's not just a movie trope. That's literally what NOTHOSAURUS would do to you. The name NOTHOSAURUS means false lizard, which might be the most misleading name in paleontology. There was nothing false about this Triassic terror. Think of a crocodile, but more streamlined, with a longer neck and the hunting versatility of a nightmare. At around 4 meters long, with some species reaching a whopping 7 meters, this predator had the perfect not too big, not too small size to hunt efficiently in multiple environments. Let's time travel back to the Triassic period, 245 to 209 million years ago. While dinosaurs were just getting started on land, NOTHOSAURUS was already perfecting the art of cross-environment hunting. Their fossils have been discovered across what was once the Tethys Ocean, from North Africa to Europe, China, Israel, and even North America. These weren't rare creatures, they were everywhere. Its elongated jaws were packed with dozens of needle-like teeth that weren't designed for chewing. They were made for gripping. Imagine dozens of sharp needles puncturing your flesh simultaneously, designed specifically so prey couldn't wriggle free. But I would just stay on land. Oh, you sweet, sweet child. Unlike many prehistoric marine reptiles, NOTHOSAURUS had a lifestyle similar to modern seals or sea lions. They were perfectly capable of hauling themselves onto shore to rest or hunt anything that looked tasty. And guess what? Your soft, fleshy human body would definitely look like an easy snack. Picture this scenario. You're swimming near the shoreline when you spot something crocodile-like approaching. Using your impressive human intellect, you scramble onto the beach, smugly believing you've escaped. Then you hear it, the sound of something dragging itself across the sand behind you. By the time you turn around, those needle teeth are already sinking into your leg. Your options? Run? NOTHOSAURUS could likely move faster than you can think on land, especially especially in short bursts. Fight with what? Your puny human arms against a reptile that hunted for a living? Play dead? Great, you've just made yourself an easier snack for it. The truly terrifying part about Nothosaurus isn't just that it could hunt in water and on land. It's that it existed in an ecosystem where being adaptable meant survival. This wasn't just a mindless predator. This was a highly successful hunter that dominated both environments for millions of years. But at least with Nothosaurus, you could see it coming. Our next prehistoric nightmare preferred a much sneakier approach, using a neck so long it could strike you from distances you wouldn't believe possible. Imagine swimming in seemingly empty water when suddenly, from nowhere, a head attaches to your arm and yanks you down the ocean. No, this isn't some supernatural creature, it's ELASMOSAURUS, nature's attempt at creating a living sniper rifle. ELASMOSAURUS lived during the late Cretaceous period, roughly 80 million years ago, when much of North America was split by the Western Interior Seaway. While T-Rex was terrorizing the land, this nightmare was patrolling these ancient waters. Let's talk about that neck, because holy prehistoric nightmare, we're looking at about 7 to 8 meters of pure ambush weaponry. That's longer than a school bus is wide. Half of this creature's total body length, which could reach up to 14 meters, was just neck. But wait, I hear you ask, wouldn't such a long neck be unwieldy and easy to spot? Not exactly. The research suggests they weren't thrashing around like garden hoses. Instead, they likely moved deliberate, precise motions, perfect for catching prey unaware. Here's where your survival fantasies get crushed. Fossils of ELASMOSAURUS have been found across Kansas, Wyoming, California, Montana, and Alaska. Basically, if you were swimming anywhere in the prehistoric North America, you were in their territory. Your smartphone flashlight won't help you spot them either. The small head at the end of that ridiculous neck would create minimal disturbance as approached. By the time you noticed anything, those needle-like teeth would already be sinking into whatever body part was most convenient. Some theories suggest that these creatures could use quick swipes of their massive neck to stun prey, kind of like how a sawfish uses its rostrum. Imagine getting hit by a biological battering ram that evolved specifically for hunting in water. Even if you somehow survived the initial bite and stunning blow, you'd likely be unconscious and drown anyway. The Western Interior Seaway wasn't exactly a gentle environment either. Deep, cold waters filled with predators meant that even if you somehow escaped the initial attack, your waterlogged body would just be appetizer delivery for whatever else was hunting nearby. Wait until you hear about Thalassophobia. They didn't call it the Sea Lord for nothing. If names mean anything, then Thalassophobia should have you trembling already. In Greek, it literally translates to Sea Lord, and this creature earned every letter of that royal title. While ELASMOSAURUS was stalking the late Cretaceous, Thalassophobia was already perfecting the art of the long neck attack around 97 million years ago. We're talking about the Cenomanian stage of the Cretaceous, when flowering plants were just becoming common and T-Rex wasn't even a thing yet. The Sea Lord's domain? It was a vast, shallow ocean called the Maurice Sea that covered parts of present-day Colorado and Nebraska. When paleontologists discovered the holotype specimen in Colorado, they probably didn't expect to uncover prehistoric royalty, but that's exactly what they found. Now, about that neck, Thalassophobia took the go-long evolutionary strategy to absurd extremes. We're talking about 5.9 meters of pure reach, composed of a mind-boggling 62 vertebrae. For perspective, your neck has 7 vertebrae. This creature had almost 9 times that amount just to extend its hunting range. But surely something with such a ridiculous neck would be slow and easy to avoid. Well, nice try, buddy. Thalassophobia streamlined body reached up to 12 meters in total length, and those 4 powerful paddle-like flippers weren't just for show. They propelled this monster through the water with surprising efficiency. And let's talk teeth. While not as numerous as some of our other prehistoric predators, Thalassophobia 5-centimeter teeth were precision instruments. Think of them less like a butcher's knife and more like a surgeon's scalpel, except this surgeon's only procedure is extract human from water. Here's your aquatic nightmare scenario with this dinosaur painted out. You're swimming in what seems to be open water, keeping an eye out for danger in a complete 360-degree scan. Smart, but not smart enough. What you don't realize is that the Sea Lord's neck gives it a nearly 6-meter attack radius. By the time you've checked your surroundings, the small head has already closed half the distance to you from below. Those sharp teeth might be smaller than other predators on our list, but they're perfectly designed for one thing: grabbing slippery prey and not letting go. Once they puncture your skin, that powerful neck starts retracting, pulling you down despite your best swimming efforts. And the truly terrifying part, in the Moray Sea, Thalassomedon wasn't just any predator. It was the apex predator, the literal lord of its domain. This wasn't some struggling hunter. This was evolution's answer to the question, how do we create a perfect fishing rod that hunts for itself? Your pathetic human lungs would give out long before you could break free from its teeth. And even if you somehow did, you'd still be stranded in the middle of a prehistoric sea ruled by a creature that paleontologists thought deserved to be named Lord. But even sea lords bow to those with the most powerful bite. KRONOSAURUS had a skull the size of your car and teeth that could crush through turtle shells like the potato chips. We've been dancing around with these sneaky long-necked hunters, but now we're getting to creatures that don't need stealth. They just need one bite. KRONOSAURUS was basically a torpedo with teeth, and its name should tell you everything. It's named after Kronos, the Greek titan who literally ate his own children. During the early Cretaceous period, roughly 123 to 98 million years ago, this monster patrolled the ancient seas of what's now Australia and Colombia. And when I say monster, I mean a monster. We're talking 9 to 11 meters of pure aquatic nightmare, weighing up to 12 tons. That's heavier than 2 adult elephants combined, by the way. And let's focus on what makes KRONOSAURUS special. That skull. At up to 2.7 meters long, the size of your entire car, KRONOSAURUS had one of the most terrifying heads in the prehistoric ocean. Inside that massive skull, teeth up to 30 centimeters long. For reference, that's about the length of a standard school ruler. But teeth aren't everything, says the soon-to-be extinct human. And you're right, bite force matters too. And KRONOSAURUS had that in spades, with an estimated chomping power of 30,000 newtons. That's comparable to a T-Rex, by the way, except this predator had the home field advantage of catching you in water, where you're about as agile as a potato. The Eromanga Sea, where many KRONOSAURUS fossils have been found, was a cool, high-latitude inland sea. This wasn't some tropical paradise. This was a serious hunting ground where KRONOSAURUS reigned supreme. Its entire body was designed for one thing: catching and crushing prey with devastating efficiency. Unlike our previous predators, KRONOSAURUS isn't trying to be subtle. It doesn't need to be. Those 4 powerful flippers propel its massive body directly towards you at speeds your breaststroke can't possibly match. It's catastrophic. Those 30-centimeter teeth don't just puncture, they crush. KRONOSAURUS didn't just eat fish and squid. It hunted sea turtles with hard shells, crushing through their armor like it was nothing. Your soft human body, it wouldn't even register as resistance. Let's be scientific about your chances here. KRONOSAURUS was an apex predator that evolved specifically to catch and kill large marine animals. It had the speed to catch you, the jaws to crush you, and the digestive system to process you. Your high human intelligence means exactly nothing when you're in the water with a creature whose very name references child eating. The only strategy with even a theoretical chance of success would be don't be in the water in the first place. And even that's assuming KRONOSAURUS couldn't beach itself temporarily to snap up shoreline snacks. We don't know if it did that, but with how crazy this creature is, I wouldn't put it past it. But if you think being hunted by sight is terrifying, our next predator takes tracking to a whole new level. LIOPLEURODON could smell your fear from across the prehistoric ocean, literally. If horror movies have taught us anything, it's that the monster who can track you anywhere is the scariest. Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees have nothing on the LIOPLEURODON, the prehistoric slasher villain that could smell your blood from miles away. LIOPLEURODON stomped, or rather swam, onto the evolutionary stage during the middle to late Jurassic period, approximately 166 to 155 million years ago. While BBC's Walking with Dinosaurs famously exaggerated its size to 25 meters, the reality is still plenty terrifying. Up to 10 meters of perfectly evolved killing machine. The name LIOPLEURODON means smooth-sided teeth, which might be the most boring way to describe teeth that could puncture through practically anything in their path. These weren't just any teeth. We're talking conical daggers up to 7.5 centimeters long, designed for one purpose: to grab prey and never let go. Fossil evidence places LIOPLEURODON primarily in what would become Europe, with specimens discovered in England, France, and Germany, plus one reported sighting in Mexico. Basically, the Jurassic European seas were LIOPLEURODON's personal hunting grounds. Now for the truly nightmarish part. LIOPLEURODON's sense of smell was so advanced that paleontologists believe it could detect prey from significant distances away. Think of a bloodhound, except the size of a bus. In water, with a very strong bite force. Speaking of bite force, how does 33,000 psi sound? For context, that's more than enough to crush your bones into prehistoric dust. Modern crocodiles have a bite force about 3,700 psi, and they can snap bones like twigs. LIOPLEURODON had nearly 10 times that power. Let's play out your aquatic horror story. You're swimming in Jurassic waters, possibly bleeding from a minor cut. Miles away, LIOPLEURODON picks up your scent. Unlike our previous predators who relied on sight or surprise, this hunter knows exactly where you are before you've even seen it. As an ambush predator, LIOPLEURODON wouldn't announce its presence with a theatrical fin above water like a movie shark. No, it would stay deep, tracking your scent before surging upward with those 4 powerful flippers, providing explosive acceleration. If the water was clear enough, followed immediately by jaws that could crush a car's engine block. There wouldn't be time for pain, just a sudden, catastrophic end to your swimming career and, well, everything else about you. Your very intelligent human intelligence, it's useless against a creature that can smell you from miles away. Your swimming skills, they're laughable compared to a creature with 4 specialized flippers evolved specifically for underwater hunting. Your survival instincts, about 165 million years too late to the evolutionary party. But even LIOPLEURODON looks like a reasonable opponent compared to our next contender. Imagine a sperm whale, already a massive creature, except its entire head is basically one giant weapon. Meet LIVYATAN, the whale with teeth bigger than a T-Rex. Remember when God himself described Leviathan in the Bible as an unstoppable sea monster whose teeth are terrible roundabout? Yeah, paleontologists looked at that description and thought, perfect name for this prehistoric whale. No, that's not me being hyperbolic. LIVYATAN melvillei was initially named Leviathan until they realized that name was already taken. During the Miocene epoch, around 12 to 9 million years ago, this colossal predator ruled the seas when early humans were still just a twinkle in evolution's eye. Stretching between 3.5 and 17.5 meters long and weighing an estimated 57 tons, LIVYATAN was comparable in size to modern sperm whales. But here's where the comparison to modern whales falls apart. See that modern sperm whale with teeth only on its lower jaw, using suction to slurp up squid? Forget that. LIVYATAN had massive teeth in both jaws, creating a death trap that nothing could escape. Let's talk about those teeth because they're literally record-breaking. At up to 36.2 centimeters long, LIVYATAN's teeth were bigger than those of a Tyrannosaurus rex. Let that sink in. The apex land predator that typically gets all the glory had smaller teeth than this whale. Originally discovered in Peru, isolated LIVYATAN teeth have since turned up in California, South America, and Australia. This wasn't some regional terror. This was a global nightmare with a passport full of stamped victims. But modern whales don't eat people, you might argue, clinging to false hope. True, but modern toothed whales eat primarily squid and fish. LIVYATAN, with its murderously specialized jaws, likely preyed on other large marine mammals, including baleen whales. You think something that hunted whales would hesitate to snack on your puny human body? I don't think so. Option 1, those massive teeth pierce your body, causing catastrophic damage before you're torn apart. Or option 2, you're swallowed whole, conscious as you enter the digestive system of a creature whose mouth could easily fit several humans simultaneously in it. The skull alone measured an impressive 3 meters long. For reference, that's taller than most basketball players. Your entire body would be dwarfed by just the head of this creature. In the water, you wouldn't even register as a challenge to it. You wouldn't be prey worthy of pursuit. You'd be a snack, an afterthought. Your great human intellect, it's meaningless against an apex predator with a brain adapted specifically for hunting in 3-dimensional oceanic space. The only, and I mean only reason LIVYATAN isn't the most terrifying creature on this list is because evolution decided to up the ante even further. If LIVYATAN was the ocean's perfect mammalian killing machine, our final contender was the perfect cartilaginous counterpart. A shark so massive it makes Jaws look like a goldfish. Let's be clear, if monsters had a hierarchy, Megalodon wouldn't just be at the top. It would be the thing the other monsters tell scary stories about. Megalodon ruled the world's oceans from the Miocene to the Pliocene epochs, which are approximately 23 to 36 billion years ago. That means this nightmare was still swimming around when our early human ancestors were just figuring out how to walk upright. Size-wise, we're talking about the T-Rex of the seas, except bigger and scarier. At 18 to 20 meters long and weighing between 50 and 70 tons, Megalodon was roughly 3 times the length of a modern great white shark. The Smithsonian even has a life-size replica of a 52-foot female that'll make you rethink any beach vacation you're planning soon. But sharks don't typically attack humans. I hear you desperately rationalizing. True for modern sharks, which makes sense since we're bony, not very nutritious, and not their usual prey. Megalodon, however, regularly ate whales. Your scrawny human body would barely qualify as an appetizer to it. Now let's talk teeth. All 276 of them arranged in rows of serrated nightmare fuel. Each tooth could reach up to 17.8 centimeters in length. For comparison, a great white shark's teeth top out around 5 centimeters. These weren't just bigger teeth, they were evolutionary perfected cutting tools designed to slice through the toughest blubber and bone. But the truly terrifying part, Megalodon's bite force. Scientists estimate that it's almost 200,000 newtons strong, officially the most powerful bite of any known animal ever. Megalodon wasn't just strong, it was smart. Evidence suggests these apex predators employed specific hunting strategies against prey, striking whales in the chest to puncture vital organs or disabling them by biting their fins and tails. This wasn't mindless aggression like we see in Jaws. This was calculated marine warfare. And you want to know the truly humbling part? Megalodon was everywhere. Its fossils have been found on every continent except Antarctica. This wasn't some regional terror. This was a global apex predator with a distribution so wide that no ocean was safe. Your survival scenario? There isn't one. Swimming? You're too slow. Boat? Too small and fragile. Submarine? Maybe, if it's military grade and you stay very quiet. But otherwise, those massive jaws could crush your protective shell like an empty soda can. The only reason you're able to go to the beach today without worrying about being eaten by a bus-sized shark is that Megalodon went extinct around 3.6 million years ago, which when you think about it compared to a lot of other creatures we talk about on this channel is quite recent. So are they alive still? Anyway, scientists still debate exactly why they went extinct. Could be climate change, competition, declining prey populations, but whatever the reason, it's literally the only thing that gives you even a theoretical chance of ocean survival. So, you still think you're built different enough to survive these prehistoric ocean monsters? Let me know down in the comments exactly how you would survive them. You're not allowed to comment you just wouldn't go swimming though. That's obviously cheating. But if you want to comment that just to be funny, you have to like this video and subscribe to the channel first. If you want to watch more videos about dinosaurs you definitely cannot survive, click this video on screen now.